Hello and welcome back. I've been able to get a few things done. Was able to get a couple more items. I got some new straps for the tie downs, so now we have back secure. Redid the bunks. Used the same wood and everything, just recarpeted. I plan on doing a much bigger upgrade than that. But I just wanted to renew the carpet so it wouldn't scratch up the paint anymore, and also get the bunks adjusted properly. So I ended up getting it taken out already. This is most of the other side pocket where the throttle was mounted. So I've got that completely taken out. I'm actually going to put a short panel in just to hold the throttle, because this will help give it more of a open feel from the inside. Just makes it feel bigger. Right here, what I'm going to be doing is putting in these aluminum tracks, just angled aluminum. These are 1/2 inch, 1/16, and then I have a 4-foot section of 1/16 by 3/4 I'm going to put behind here, and I'm going to run all my wire harness along that and have the zip ties and clamps attached to the angled aluminum. And just to keep it all organized, I don't have to worry about running extra screws through the hull. I can actually make use of screws that are screw holes that were already there. And that's the big project for today.
What I'm doing right here is drilling out with a pilot hole and then coming back with a larger one to open up the holes, make it easier to cut through the aluminum.
I'm going to put a mounting hole for a zip tie every about 12 inches or so. And that way I can zip tie the harness in spots all along the track just to keep it all together. Well, I made a mistake. I'll go ahead and let you know so that if you do it, you're not doing the same thing. When I went to get my holes set up, I measured off the same sides. So one side's gonna have everything like so. The other side is gonna end up like this. But there's not as many wires that are gonna be running on the port side, so that works out perfect. Just hang them. The larger wire bundle will actually be able to sit up in here. So right here what I'm doing, I'm putting some double-sided tape down. It's a permanent double-sided tape, which is kind of like a foam mounting tape, but I'm not taking the backing off on it at all. I'm just going to use it to create a barrier between the aluminum and the fiberglass to keep it from rubbing and so forth, and also to keep vibration down. But these will be hard mounted with bolts. So, and there I am cutting the excess off. That way there's not a bunch laying out. Here I'm going ahead and dry fitting with the mounting holes. Make sure everything lines up. And here's the back of the rail. Also had to make sure no wires are getting caught or anything like that. But this is just enough to get the rail into place. Now, right here, I've already cut out the bottom wedges for the supports. I'm trying to figure out where I need to cut off and so forth, and make sure this thing can fit. It's actually going to be underneath the rail. So, and here I did a dry fit with the throttle controls. I've already done my cuts and everything, so I'm just getting ready to make sure everything goes in nicely. And everything does. It's going to end up looking pretty good. Next, I'm getting ready to seal with some waterproofing. What I'm using here is an oil-based enamel paint to help create a waterproof barrier for the plywood. I'm just using a regular 1/2-inch piece of plywood. You'll also notice I'm going in the same direction with my rolling strokes as the wood grain, and that's just to help get the paint to go down into the wood. Also make sure you're going over your edges really good, giving it plenty of paint. Don't let it get too thin because the wood is going to soak that in. Right here, I'm just making sure the paint's thick enough without running for the wood soak. So after the board was finally dry enough, I could put the carpet on, cut out a piece to where I could overlap it. Right there, I'm cutting out little spots where it goes under the dash to fit in around the fiberglass. I just fold over, staple it down. I've got an adhesive I sprayed on the other side of the board, a heavy-duty spray adhesive, since this is just sitting up against the side, and I'm not too worried about it moving around or anything, since it's going to be fixed. I just used that to secure the board down onto the carpet, and then I pulled it around tight and stapled it. And here's a look at the finished product. Carpet on the back, and then it's a little dirty, but completed on the front. Now the holes I had for this, I pre-drilled before I painted and everything. So these holes were already set in there. I just had to cut them through the carpet, and everything went in great. Got them held secured with small fender washers on the inside, just to make sure it stays nice and tight to the board. And here I'm just getting ready to secure it to the top of the fiberglass. I'll still have to put the L brackets in at the bottom. And here's a little functions and clearance test on the throttle, just to make sure I wasn't hitting anything. And here I'm preparing the 3/4 inch piece of 1/16 angle to run behind the back section there for the wire loom. Make sure to deburr your holes too, just makes everything cleaner. And finally, I went around and secured the cables and wires to the rails. I used stainless steel L-shaped brackets to secure the board down on the bottom supports, so it had a nice secure mounting on the bottom and the top. And then I finished off with some spray adhesive, just putting some pieces of carpet on those supports so it wasn't exposed. And here's a look at the final piece. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below the video and I'll get back with you. Otherwise, stay tuned. I got more coming. Have a good one.